basketball fans, it's me DC here for Fantasy Basketball Analyzer to help get you ready by doing the Week 15 Waiver Wire. Break down some options for season-long ads and some streamers. It's a decent streaming week, although I've only got a handful of obvious pickups I think are available in your league. We're not going to dilly-dally because I got a lot of names this week to try and get through, so let's get into it with the Shallow League ads. Shallow League ads, I don't think are going to have names that really surprise you. First off, Chris Duarte, 56% rostered. Indiana's got a great schedule for this coming week. They have 4 games, like a lot of teams, but 2 of them are on streaming days. They get the Pelicans, Charlotte, OKC, and Dallas. So you like all those matchups except for maybe Dallas. But Duarte is playing well. 56% rostered. He's available in just under half of leagues. I think you pick him up and use him and be pretty happy. I like him a little more in a points league where it's condensed because a lot of his value is coming from points, threes, and decent rebounds. You can play him at shooting guard and get 5 or 7 rebounds. You'd be happy with that. But he does get you a handful of assists. His steals, I shouldn't underrate that. So he's still helpful in category league as well. He's shooting 44% from the floor and 72% from the line for the season. So it's nothing to write home about, but he's also not going to hurt you. I like Chris Duarte a lot. And then LaMarcus Aldridge is having a good run here. It helps that Nick Claxton's out. But even if Claxton is back, I think with Durant out as well, they just need some scoring. Well, they're obviously not the same guys. And at different points in their career, don't misconstrue this. Aldridge's last couple of games, he went 16-7, he went 27-6, he went 13-5. 13-5 is probably a little more what we would have been expecting, but I think you might have a decent run here. Brooklyn doesn't have a great schedule for as far as using them this week. They've got 3 games, and on Saturday is the only good streaming day against Golden State. But I think you might get some value out. You know, Durant's going to be out for a bit. And like I said, they're not playing the same spot, but I think they're going to need to lean on Aldridge a little bit more here. 62% roster is available in about 40% of leagues. So he might not be out there for you, but he is valuable. And with that, those shallow league ads, let's get to the available in 50%, which are still good ads in the shallow leagues. I forgot to say it at the top of the show, but I'm wearing my Caruso shirt, which I've been waiting until he was back because he was out for a little bit. And now, unfortunately, he's out again for 2 months because of a bad hit from Grayson Allen. And it's a bummer because he's a fan favorite and he's a lot of fun to watch. But I'm reminded to talk about it because we do have a bright spot in Chicago besides a lot of injuries, which is really a bummer. That Ayo Dosunmu is playing great. He's 48% rostered. I was getting worried as of Friday before Caruso went out that I wasn't going to get to talk about him because he has been noticeably contributing and he should be rostered on more than half of leagues. And yet somehow the ownership stayed low enough to be there, although it's jumped 46% in the last day or two. He's coming off of not a great game against the Bucks. He had 5, 5, and 6, although it's nice to see someone who can fill out the stat sheet like that. He's been playing 39 to 40 minutes. I know it's a small range, but legitimately, he played 39, 38, 40 minutes last few games. He had 18, 3, and 8, 15, 10, and 6, 21, 4, and 10. He's playing great. He's a lot of fun to watch. And I think some people are picking him up because of the Caruso injury. I mean, Ball is hurt too, and that has an impact. Caruso's really been used as like a power forward, like a 4. They even call him a forward in the introduction. So I think people are thinking of Caruso as the guard and maybe jumping on a Bulls pickup even more. We've talked about Kobe White in prior weeks, but they're going to be without Ball and Caruso for a little bit here, which does free up minutes, even if they're not the same position. Hopefully Zach comes back for the Bulls. The Bulls really need him, but Ayo should be able to keep contributing. And well, it might be a little up and down. You know, I mentioned an okay game just last game. Before that, he played 32 minutes at Golden State. This is going back to the 14th when he got 0-0, 2 rebounds, 0-0-0. So he is still a rookie second round pick. He looks a lot better than a rookie second round pick. He's a lot of fun to watch. And I think he could help you. Now, the Bulls don't have a great schedule for this coming week. They've got 4 games, which is good. The first game against OKC is a streaming day, and it's a favorable matchup. But I think Ayo could contribute long-term. Chicago's got 4 games next week. I think if you pick him up, you might have a good run here, and he should be on more teams than he is. Next up, let's talk about old man Nick Batum, rostered in 29% of leagues. He's finally back. He was out with health and safety protocols. Then he came back. Then he had like a false positive test or something. I missed a game. He just had 15, 7, 3, and 2 with 3 3-pointers, shot 66%. This is against Philly. Really good game, and he's trending upwards. He's getting picked up. But he's only rostered in 29% of leagues. It's probably your chance to get it now. If you're looking at this screenshot, I took this earlier when doing the research. It's a live game against the Knicks, so don't read into the 6 points, 2 assists. He's probably had a better game than that, I would guess, at least. And so this might be your last chance to go pick him up. Clippers don't have a great schedule for this coming week. They've got 4 games, which is good, but none of them are on the main streaming days, and they only have 3 games next week. But like Io, he could contribute to your team for the rest of the year, and now's a chance to go grab him in 70% of leagues. How about a medium-length streamer? If you're looking for someone for this week and maybe more, Goga Bitadze, 29% rostered. So Indiana's got some injuries, right? They've lost Miles for an extended period here, and in the brief stint, they're also without Sabonis. Goga's playing well. He's getting you kind of double-double. He had 16 and 11, but before that was 13 and 9. You don't want the 3 and 1. He only played 3 minutes against the Lakers. He had 17 and 8 before that. I don't think you're going to be like riding him to your championship, but Indiana has a good schedule this week. I already talked about it with Duarte, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. 4 games, 2 of them on the streaming days. So you can get him and use him now. Indiana's got 4 games next week, so you pick him up. You might be able to carry him through and get some big man stats if you're looking for it. He doesn't shoot as well from the floor if you're in a categories league and you want Goga. I mean, he's averaging 39% field goal percentage for the year, but he's doing better than that over this little stretch where he's getting extended minutes, and he doesn't really shoot enough where I think he's going to hurt you. He's just maybe not the boost that you're expecting when you plug someone in at the center position. Sticking with Indiana, how about Justin Holiday? If I was ranking these correctly, he probably should have been higher, but he's 46% rostered, so he's available in half of leagues. He makes this list, but he's not as widely available as Goga. Justin's been playing well, kind of what you expect from him. There's not a up in production because so-and-so is out and stuff. He had 10-4 and 3, 16-5 and 3, 11-1 and 3, 18-1 and 1. You know, it's consistent. 25-2 and 4. You're getting some steals. You're getting some blocks. In fact, over the last 30-day average for 8 category, he's rated 87th. So he gets the same good schedule that Indiana has, right? 2 of 4 are streaming for this week, 4 games next week. I think you just want to pick up Justin Holiday and ride this. He could contribute for you while not being flashy, and he's available in half of leagues. This is a good pickup for now and to help your team for a little bit. Save you some waiver moves because you can hold on to him into next week in all likelihood. And then you can make some other moves around the fringes to get you that bump in your daily change league. Devin Vassell make my list despite the Spurs not having a great schedule for this week for the coming streaming. They've got 4 games, which is good. Houston, you like that matchup. Memphis, you think you like that matchup, but they've been playing really well on defense, so I don't know that you do. Chicago and Phoenix. Chicago is kind of the opposite of Memphis. I think they have a reputation for being a scarier defense than they are. Memphis is having good defense, but they're playing well. But the important thing is actually about the player. Vassell's playing well. He's 31% rostered. I think he's just getting overlooked. He was out for a while for the Spurs, and he's back. I think I like him a little more in a points league because his stats can be a little spread out or a little unpredictable, I would say. But he does contribute on blocks and steals, which is really nice. Plug him in at shooting guard and get a decent amount of rebounds too. Last couple of box scores, 9 and 3, but he had 19 and 8 before that, 10 and 4, 10 and 11. But in all of those games, he's had at least 1 steal, and some of them he's had 2 blocks and steals if you combine that into one stat. That's really nice in a category league, and I think you could hold on to him and not just be a streamer. He's a little over what I consider that like cut and stream spot. That said, the 4 games this week aren't on good streaming days. He's got 3 games next week, and that's why he's lower in my list. If you're picking up someone that you're not trying to churn and burn and get the most games, you just want a solid player, I'm surprised he's available in 69% of leagues. It's very nice. But I think you could use him long-term if you're just looking to pick up some talent or you got an injured spot and you're trying to get by with KD or Lonzo or Caruso or someone who's been on your team that's been injured a long time. Then maybe you look at Vassell, he's overlooked and available in your league, and he can help you out. Back to one of the spot starts. Bismack Biyombo just had a really good game. 21 and 13 against Indiana with 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. It's crazy. It's a breakout game. I'm not expecting that to keep continuing. That said, Phoenix has an all right schedule in that they've got 4 games and 1 streaming day. They play Utah to start the week on Monday with a good streaming matchup. Part of the good game he just had against Indiana was that McGee was in some foul trouble, so he got even more minutes. I should mention this is also based on the fact that Ayton's out right now. So it's McGee and Biyombo. But Biyombo's had an up and down. Before this standout game, he had 9 and 4, but before that he had 17 and 14. He's playing well, but he is definitely McGee's backup. They play Utah on the streaming day, and then they play Utah again, so you kind of get what might be predictable. Now, this could go either way. He's got to go against Gobert. Maybe that hurts him. Or maybe McGee gets in a bunch of foul trouble and Biyombo gets more helpful and you can use him at the start of the week. I think it's a limited shelf life, but if you're looking for a big man who gets you some scoring, I think this could be a good way to go. But I keep mentioning McGee. If Biyombo's 17% rostered, McGee's only 23% rostered. If you're looking for rebounds and blocks, McGee's there. We've talked about him other times this year. I think you know what you get from him. Not standout scoring. You're going to get good. It's kind of a Tyson Chandler-esque line that you used to be able to get. You can get that with McGee. When he's starting and getting more minutes, that helps. When he's a backup, he's still viable. You keep him on as a big man on your bench that you plug in there when Phoenix has a good schedule. You can go either way here if you're looking for a big man. Sticking with the big man, on the fringes of my recommendation, maybe it's watch list. Onyeka Okongwu, I couldn't decide which side of the watch list waiver has to put him onto. Atlanta doesn't have a good schedule, and that's kind of where he went more watch list. They've got 3 games. They're all later in the week, though. It's Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, so you could wait on this a little bit. He had an game just the other day, 6-4-1, but before that, 17-8, 12-8, 12-5. He's rostered in 29% of leagues, so I think he could help you out if he retains value. He's playing well enough that I think he might gain some more minutes against Clint Capella. Clint Capella is coming back, though, and I don't know how those minutes are going to work out. So I think it's a watch, and because they don't have games at the start of the week, I can't give you advice right now. I mean, they play Charlotte tonight, Sunday, or last night, if you're watching this on Monday to make your pickups, depending on which way it goes. So that might give you a little more insight if Capella looks and you can look at the minute splits. But I think it's a watch list, but he is a good player, and hopefully he gets more of a share of that rotation going forward. Speaking of these teams that have games towards the end of the week, Miami only has a 3-game week, but they've got the back-to-back Friday, Saturday, and they have a 4-game next week. I think it's worth looking at the end of the week if you need a guard at Gabe Vincent or Max Strus. I hear about Max more, but I think Gabe is a lot more consistent. He's only 12% rostered. He's got the 1 of 3 games streaming for this week. Good rolling into next week. Hero's out with health and safety protocols, which isn't going to hurt that at all, but you're going to get solid points. You're definitely going to get assists. I think Vincent, I keep switching between Vincent and Vincent. It's Vincent. I think Gabe Vincent could help you going forward. Pick him up at the end of the week if you want that. The Miami matchup is against Toronto on Saturday, and then that's assuming you're doing well this week. You grab him, and then you're already set up for a 4-game week next week. That makes me feel pretty good. Touching on a note from last week, I mentioned keep an eye on Kelly Olynyk because he was under 50% and he was coming back. Well, he did come back, and now he's out with health and safety protocols because that happens sometimes. He's 67% rostered, so he's not on any of the waiver thing, and I don't think he's good enough to pick up and hold. That said, he might get dropped again. He was below 50% for a reason, so take a look at that. Or maybe if you don't like any of the other bigs I mentioned, Trey Lyles, we talked about him in prior weeks. He's 24% rostered. He's still contributing, and he's got a little bit longer timeline if Olynyk's going to be out for a little bit, but I think he's still going to be part of that team. If you're looking for a low-level production that you don't really have to worry about, we talked about him last week. I'm not going to hammer it any more than that. Thank you so much for watching. If there's someone you're considering or trades or anything as you're getting ready to push for your fantasy playoffs, leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter. You know the deal. Good luck finishing this week and go out for week 15. You know what I say? Go win your week. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. It helps me grow the channel. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe or even the little bell will give you alerts. And I'll be back soon with another video for you.